Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today, I'm going to talk about how the USS Farragut became Star Trek's most cursed starship. If you're a fan of Star Trek, you probably know that there have been several starships named Farragut in the history of the Federation. But did you know that most of them met with tragic fates? In this video, I'm going to explore the stories of these unlucky starships and why they seem to be doomed. If you're ready, let's get into it. The first USS Farragut was a Farragut-type starship with the registry number NCC 1647. It was commanded by Captain Garrovick in the 2250s. One of its crew members was a young Lieutenant James T. Kirk, who served as a phaser officer. In 2257, the Farragut encountered a dichoronium-clad creature on Tycho IV, a mysterious entity that fed on the red blood cells of its victims. The creature attacked the Farragut and killed nearly half of its crew, including Captain Garrovick. Kirk blamed himself for the incident as he hesitated to fire his phasers at the creature. He carried this guilt for 11 years, until he faced the same creature again as the captain of the U.S. Enterprise. He learned that his phasers would have been ineffective anyway, and that he could not have prevented the death of his captain and crewmates. The first USS Farragut was one of Star Trek's earliest examples of a starship that suffered a devastating loss at the hands of an unknown enemy one. The second USS Farragut was a Nebula-class starship with the registry number NCC 60597. It was active in the 24th century and participated in several missions and conflicts. In 2371, it helped recover the crew of the U.S. Enterprise D from Garidian IME after the ship's warp core exploded and its saucer section crashed on the planet's surface. 2 years later, during the Federation-Klingon War, it was sent to assist the colonists of Agilon Prime, who had come under attack by the Klingons. However, on its way there, it was ambushed by Klingon ships and destroyed near the Lambda cluster. The second USS Farragut was one of Star Trek's many examples of a starship that sacrificed itself for a noble cause. 23. The third USS Farragut was an Excelsior-class starship with an unknown registry number. It was active in the late 24th century and served as a training vessel for Starfleet Academy cadets. One of its instructors was Commander William T. Riker, who taught advanced tactical training courses aboard the ship. In 2381, it was part of a task force that responded to a Borg invasion of the Alpha Quadrant. It fought bravely against overwhelming odds, but was ultimately overwhelmed and assimilated by the Borg collective. The third USS Farragut was one of Star Trek's most tragic examples of a starship that fell victim to one of the Federation's greatest enemies. 4. The fourth USS Farragut was a Sovereign-class starship with an unknown registry number. It was active in the early 25th century and served as a flagship for Starfleet operations in various sectors. It was commanded by Captain Vakal-Shan, an Andorian officer who had distinguished himself in several battles and diplomatic missions. In 2409, it was part of a joint task force that attempted to stop a rogue faction of Romulans from using an Iconian gateway to unleash a devastating weapon on New Romulus. It succeeded in destroying the weapon, but at a terrible cost. The Farragut was severely damaged and most of its crew were killed or injured. The fourth USS Farragut was one of Star Trek's most heroic examples of a starship that saved countless lives at the expense of its own. As you can see, the USS Farragut has been a name that has been associated with both glory and tragedy in Star Trek history. It has been a name that has inspired courage and loyalty among its crew members, but also a name that has attracted misfortune and disaster. It has been a name that has witnessed some of Star Trek's most memorable moments, but also some of its most heartbreaking ones. So why is the USS Farragut so cursed? Is it just a coincidence, or is there something more sinister behind it? Some fans have speculated that it could be related to the origin of the name itself. David Farragut, a famous American admiral who fought in the American Civil War and the War of 1812. He was known for his bravery and leadership, but also for his recklessness and stubbornness. He famously uttered the phrase, "Damn the torpedoes, full speed ahead," during the Battle of Mobile Bay, where he led his fleet to victory despite the risk of mines and enemy fire. Perhaps the USS Farragut inherited some of his traits and also some of his fate. What do you think of the USS Farragut and its stories? Do you have a favorite or least favorite version of it? And what are your thoughts on its curse? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel for more content like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.